Hello, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. In today's episode, I want to update you around the whole Gabby Petito story, but the main focus as well is the funeral services that are going on today. And so we have a live look from inside the funeral home, and I will share that with you to start it out. We are here, not we as in me, but we are here with a live look from WFLA.com now, and they're sharing the live look from the funeral home as they're preparing. The funeral begins at noon today, and that's noon Eastern Standard Time is my guess. Now, the family has given permission to share some of this with the newscasters, so they may end up having to abruptly stop the live stream in respect to the family's wishes. And so family, friends, they're all paying their tribute. They're all paying their respects to Gabby Petito. So we are here with a live look from inside the funeral home that's taken place today. So today is the actual funeral for Gabby Petito. What a horrific story this has been all around, and that's exactly what we're going to be updating on. So there has been a few updates, and I wanted to share that with you as well. I'll keep coming back to this. And we'll see. I hope that my stream is coming through. Okay. If you guys could let me know if the streaming is coming through okay, I would appreciate that. I'm getting a little notice. I might have to change the way I'm going to multiple feeds, because sometimes it seems like the streaming is not coming in too well. And so I'll keep you updated from the funeral home as we start. Now, obviously, this is probably not going to start. I don't know if I just know it's noon. And I know that being in New York, and I'm from New York, so I know the time changing and all that. And I know that it is, right now, it's 11:48 in New York in the morning. And so we'll see how this continues. If it'll start in 12 minutes, they may cut the live stream off. And so we can only wait and see what that looks like. But I did not see anywhere where this was live on YouTube. And so here is your first-hand look at the inside of the funeral home. And really, your chance to pay your respects live, as we watch this going on, for those like myself who cannot be there and pay their respects. But again, this is just really family and friends. Of course, I don't think they've opened this to the public by any means. And as we know, she is well loved. People absolutely adore her. And she started out on this whole trip with her then fiancé, Brian Laundrie, who is MIA. No one knows where this guy is. And I want to share with you a few clips. A few of these clips, one from John Walsh. I think at least he is smart that he's not there. The family, I believe, led the police on a goose chase, because there is no way this dude is in the Carlton Reserve. I'm not buying that one bit. What do you guys think? Do you think he's actually in the Carlton Reserve? I mean, I feel from the beginning, all the family did was buy him time to get out of there. They bought him they bought him time to get out of there. And so here we are. This is what, day 7 or 8 on the search for Brian Laundrie. I think is day 8. And so he is nowhere near that Carlton Reserve. And we'll come back to this stream right here as long as it stays live. But I want to play a clip for you from John Walsh as he is sharing his thoughts on Brian Laundrie. And I absolutely love it. I like that he shares how it is. I may not totally agree with, in John Walsh's words, he hopes that Brian kills himself so that the families don't have to sit through it, and so that there's no court procedures through this whole thing. And I can see why. I definitely am not disagreeing with that part, but for anyone to take their own life, I personally want to see him brought to justice. I want him to live through the agony and the pain of dealing with all of this. And so we'll see what happens if he gets found. But I want to share a clip from John Walsh on his words about that.
And the public is the key to this. It is. And for all these years, I've said one thing. People don't want to call the cops. They're afraid to get dragged into a trial. They're afraid they'll have to testify against their gangbanger cousin who'll get out on parole and kill them. So there's a lot of reasons people don't want to call the cops. But I say this. I don't care whether you're legal, illegal, who you are, where you are, what you do. It's nobody's business. Just tell me where the dirt bag is, and I'll arrange to go pick them up. And I've caught 1,422 of the world's most wanted, uncatchable by police guys. We recovered 61 stranger abducted missing children, Elizabeth Smart probably the most famous. And I've caught 17 guys off the FBI's 10 most wanted because of, no, I'm not patting myself on the back. This is because of the public. The public saying, John, you give me a way to saddle up and do it right, and I'm going to do it right. So that's what I'm counting on, catching this horrible coward. And this guy got, because of the dirty Laundrie parents, they gave him 9-day head start, fooled the cops, came up with all these red herrings. And last night on my show, we got 412 tips. And I have trained hotline operators. We have U.S. Marshals there, FBI. You know how I operate, Sean. So 15 of those tips were placing him. People thought they had seen him. Now, again, he's been out there for 9 days. And I was the guy that said it, and I still mean it. He never went to the swamp. He got home. He and his father scrubbed the van. They scrubbed the house. And then the father and him went and bought a camper top, a white camper top. And 3 days before Gabby's parents, who were saying all the time, where is Gabby? You've been home for 10 days. You got to tell us. 3 days before they filed that missing persons report, they went on a trip. And yesterday I was talking to the neighbors across the street and said, we thought it was really weird because the father and Brian buy a little camper top, and mom and dad and Brian pile into the back of it. It's a pickup truck camper top. Why would they be going together? So 3 days later, back comes Brian's father and mother, the dirty Laundries, and no Brian. So Brian's had a real big head start. And last Friday, listen, this Bertolino guy, this wannabe Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson, get my 15 minutes of fame lawyer, he calls the cops last Friday and says, we're going to finally do the right thing. I got to tell you, and the Laundries, the dirty Laundries want me to tell you this, that Brian went to the swamp on Tuesday and left his car there. So
right,
we were so worried about him. Wednesday, we drove out and found the car. In 60,000 acres, how did they find the car? But the mom says, the lawyer's talking now, this lawyer. He says the mom left a message, and don't hurt yourself, Brian. Don't kill yourself. He's such a coward. He'll never kill himself. But anyway, they go back on Thursday and say the note was still there, so he brought home Brian's Mustang and parked it in the driveway. And then the lawyer calls up on Friday and says, we're finally going to do the right thing. We're going to tell you that Brian's missing, and we're so afraid he killed himself in the swamp. Another red herring. For 9 days, this lawyer and this mother and father, the dirty Laundries, have kept cops at bay and
John Walsh is speaking his piece, and he said it himself. He said it. The parents gave him a big head start. And this is what we don't know. We don't know the exact day. They said he's been missing since the Tuesday before they allowed the FBI to come in. They said he had been missing since Tuesday. Now, truth be told, come on. Who knows truly when he's been missing? And TK20, you're so right. Your son is missing in the swamp, so you take the car home? That is so true, TK. And it's like, come on. Come on. I love what John said about the Johnny Cochran wannabe. That was hilarious. John Walsh is like speaking his mind. If you guys don't know John Walsh's background, he started America's Most Wanted after his son went missing only to find him dead. And they brought the guy to justice that hurt him, but a tragic story that led them. And now him and his son actually host a show together. I believe they do it together, In Pursuit. And so, my friends, if you guys don't mind, I will probably be showing some of your comments on the screens. If you do not want me to show your comments on the screen, please let me know, because I definitely want to respect you if you don't want it to be live on the screen. So I will be sharing some of the comments live on the screen. So again, if you don't want it on there, please just share that with me, and I will make sure to respect your feelings. Thank you, Netra Page, where she's sharing, because I wasn't too sure if the streaming was coming through. But if you guys do not want your comments to show up, don't hesitate to let me know, and I'm happy to respect your feelings. I will be sharing in and out of the funeral home that is going on right now as they're getting closer to 11 o'clock. I'm not too sure. It's 11 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock New York time. And from my understanding, it's supposed to start at noon. I'm guessing Eastern Standard Time, because that's New York time, right? So someone said 12. I'm assuming, I know it's not good to assume, but I'm assuming they're talking about New York time because that's their location. And I will share another little live look here, just in case we happen to lose the feed. And so we're here live, and this is the funeral home. Today is the day that they have the funeral services. And so this is really more of the preparation of the funeral services. And so we will see where that Serious Fish Keeper says, I believe the lawyer told him his options and helped with his head start. Not disagreeing with that thought process. Not disagreeing with that thought process at all. My personal thought on it is I still think the lawyer just thought it was going to be an easy case to cover, and little did he know it's hurting their law firm, because people all over are giving this law firm negative reviews because of them. I believe everyone should have representation, but what the lawyer should have been doing was, let's get the answers for everyone to follow, right? And they're just like, they're not helping whatsoever in this, are they? Like, no one is helping in this particular case. And so we're only left with more of, we don't really know all of the facts on this, do we? And so thank you, Serious Fish Keepers, for your comments. Again, if you guys don't want me to show you your comment on the screen, just put it in the comments. Don't show my comment. I'm happy to respect your feelings. Don't hesitate to let me know. And so here we are live from the funeral home, and John Walsh was talking about the neighbor sharing their 2 cents. I want to play that for you. I got a little clip here. I'm going to play that for you as well. This was Karen Abert's take, and she's the neighbor that lives next to Brian Laundrie, and she is sharing some of what she witnessed, and this goes along with John Walsh's interview.
Yeah, I saw him. They went for a walk in the neighborhood. That was about all I saw.
Okay, so you saw him. Okay, September. I'm sure you don't remember the day, right?
I want to say it was Thursday or Friday, before we knew Gabby was missing.
Okay, great. So what did you see?
They, as a family, the mom, dad, and him, came out to take a stroll in the neighborhood. That was really all.
You didn't think anything of it?
No, not at all.
Looked like a normal interaction.
Yeah, we'd seen them do that before, so it never seemed strange to us that they would go for a walk through the neighborhood. So.
And then Gabby, over the last 2 years, you used to see her all the time?
They actually hadn't been in the house for the last 2 years.
Okay.
The whole family, they didn't actually, there was somebody renting the house.
I read that, yeah.
And so, but once they moved in, we did see her occasionally.
Yeah.
Not very often. We saw Brian more so as they were working on the van, but we didn't see her terribly often, every now and then.
So you saw him working on the van. What was he doing?
Woodwork, putting up paneling or making a bench, it looked like, of some sort in the van. We didn't know that they were converting the van. We just knew that they were working on it. So.
And when you saw him come back, your initial reaction was he's back from his trip?
Yeah, because at that point, I didn't know that she formally lived here. I thought maybe she was visiting. So, because we just, they hadn't been here very long, so I didn't know if she was just a girlfriend visiting and that sort of thing.
What's your reaction to all this now? How are you guys have been a front row seat to this thing. How are you feeling?
It's very surreal. Very surreal in the sense that you just never expect to see or know somebody in your neighborhood that was either with somebody and had something terrible happen, or could have been, much less, actually the perpetrator of something terrible happening to somebody.
And the Laundries, how well do you know them, the parents?
Not very well, just to say hi on the street and that sort of deal. So that was usually about the extent of it.
Do you feel, look, you're a taxpayer of Florida, you're a taxpayer of the United States. There's a lot going on right now looking for him. Do you kind of wish that the parents were talking a little bit more, or not? Do you think?
If they have knowledge, yes, I would love to say, please share more information. If they don't have knowledge, then, there's only so much they can do I think yes, it's crazy that they're going through this just for one person, but I really hope it's a fruitful search. That, if nothing else, at least it provides answers to what the heck happened.
So that's the neighbor. Actually, I think this is a different neighbor than the one John Walsh is referring to. So forgive me on that mistake there. Again, I try to be as accurate as possible. And with all the information that's floating out there, you got to pick and choose, and you got to really comb through a lot of this. I was watching a video earlier today, a live video where the topic was the best friend of Gabby in on it. I was blown away. I felt like it was more clickbait than anything, but when you really listen to it, it's coming directly from the best friend's mouth. That makes you skeptical. I still don't think the best friend has anything to do with it. I think that's absolutely crazy, but you know how that goes as well, right? And so here we are, I want to give you another look at because if we do lose it, I want to make sure that you guys can at least have whatever little experience you can of the actual funeral of Gabby Petito. So this is the funeral home, a live look inside the funeral home, and they're probably going to be getting ready to start. I was under the impression they were going to start at noon Eastern Standard Time. It is now noon Eastern, a little afternoon. So we'll see if I see any other live footage from the actual funeral home. I will definitely update, because I think that is, this is a sensational story. We've all been following this story. This is taking America and surrounding countries by storm. Everyone is paying attention. One guy even lost his job. A TV anchor lost his job. And the reason being he lost his job is because he was pulled off of the air because he wanted to talk about the difference between covering her because of her race and what happens when, someone else of a different race goes missing, and how it doesn't have so much coverage. Now, this TV anchor is white, who has an adopted daughter who is African American. And so he wanted to talk about this on air or something along those lines. And in the backstage, they got into a kind of a heated argument. And so he never came back out. He was pulled off of it. I think he was either fired or suspended. A lot of people have strong takes on this. I have seen that talked about quite a bit about. Personally, I'll give you my take on this. It was extremely odd to me how a girl and her fiance go on a van life cross-country road trip and he comes back without her. That caught my attention. And then the more I dug into it, the more I followed it, it kept me captivated. And that's why I've reported on this every day, because I'm captivated by it. I don't care about the friggin' race. That means nothing to me, right? But the story is out of this world. And it's what blows my mind even more is that they can't even find this guy. They cannot even find this guy. How does that happen? Now, truth is, sometimes whodunit, we have no clue. We got to wait 25, 30 years, and people then the case is solved. But this is different. They know who to talk to. They have as much suspicion as possible that Brian Dirty Laundrie is responsible for this. They don't know where he's at. They don't know where he's at. And at one time, they said they knew where he was, and whenever they need to get him, they can get him. Really? Really? But yet, here we are. Here we are, and they have no clue where he is. Are they doing their actual... I mean, come on. Come on, people. Netra says, they need to look in Canada where the flight attendant snapped a photo of a man. He looked a heck of a lot like him, but colored his beard. Okay, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. There have been sightings that he's in Canada. And I like what Dog said. I like what Dog said, and I'll play that here in a second. I think it's possible Brian did it in self-defense. That's another thought process. I don't quite believe that, Kay Briggs. I don't quite believe that. I know she was pretty emotional. She has admitted to hitting him in the shoulder, in his arm or something. And maybe he snapped, right? We don't really know. The autopsy hasn't even revealed how she was killed. The autopsy hasn't revealed why she was killed, so we don't even know how she was killed. Right now, everything is speculation. And Kay Briggs makes up another good point. Remember the scratches she put on arms and faces? Yes, I do remember that, and that's where I can definitely see why you're saying that. I think that's a fair statement. No doubt that's a fair statement. And that's a fair statement. That's how I'll leave it there. I cannot argue that one bit, because it looks like there might be some physical abuse amongst both of them. The eyewitness 911 call said that he was slapping her. She herself said that, she was hitting him a little bit, so it's interesting where this will all end up. It is. It's sad and true. We will see where this all ends up. Let me play a little footage from Dog the Bounty.
Because I lost a daughter at about the same age, I know what the parents feel like, okay? And you want justification. You want the guy behind bars. All of it's alleged that he even committed the murder. But circumstantially, it looks like he did. The strongest lead I see is that one of her friends said he had been in the Appalachian Mountains by himself for a couple months. Now, he's not just a camper then, he is a outdoorsman. So in order to do that, I think because of his age, he felt comfortable. If there's anywhere right now that looks the hottest, that could be the area. It all depends on the picture they got of him the other day where they're hunting now, if really that was him. No one has said that. If not, Appalachian Mountains is the best, but it covers several states. So where did he go in at? That's where you start your tracking point. From right when he went into the mountain with dogs. They've got so much infrared. I mean, they're gonna catch him. You know, the only reason I would doubt if he's in the swamp is they've been hunting it really good, okay? And I'm not sure that was him in the picture. You know, it was blurry, blah, 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 like kind of an old bank robbery picture, right? But you couldn't really tell if that was him. Now, if that was him 100%, he's in the swamp, okay? And then, so he moves in the night, and he probably sleeps up in the day. Now, the FBI has ultraviolet light tracking. Remember the Boston bomber? How they found the kid in the boat when they went over and the tarp was over him? They've got that. So I'm sure they're using that to cover with drones. I mean, he can't cover with mud. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. He can't cover with anything. He's gonna light up. You know, I don't think he went to New York, or there's been a couple rumors he might have went to Mexico. I've been to Mexico. So if he's down there wanted, a white boy that doesn't know Spanish, the cartel's gonna grab him for the reward. So no, he's not down there. You know, I don't think, who knows? I've had to eat my words before. Sounds like when they got into argument, she screamed a lot. Now, if he's out in that tent, your voice will go, what, 2 miles? And she's screaming. What if he put his hand over her mouth to shut her up and killed her? Or did he do it worse? It all depends. The autopsy report is out, I believe, how she died, okay? That's gonna be your murder, death penalty sentence. So how do you say it could have been an accident? You know, the guy that killed my daughter in a car wreck, right? He passed too, but it was an accident. How do you say that? So.
Well, that's from Dog the Bounty Hunter, and I have to say that he makes some good points, because they said, I've heard rumors that what if he's in Mexico? That's a really good point. Unless this guy is very fluent in Spanish, that's going to be a challenge on its own. K. Briggs, I agree with you. He had me chuckling a little there, and he does mean well. And this was him, he literally was trying to get some answers.
So the reason I went to Mr. Laundrie is because I carry a reputation with me. See me every night on Pluto TV. The reputation is he gives you a second chance. He gonna get you, but he gives you a second chance. So I thought, wow, the dad's gonna, see me and crack, and I know the kid knows me, probably one of my fans. So I thought the dad would answer and talk. But I was very persistent without disturbing the peace, and knocked a few times so they saw it was me. And I didn't play nasty and put a copy of the warrant on their front door, none of that. I was very respectful. And the dad can still reach out to me through social media. Let's get the kid captured alive. Alive.
And at least there's a difference there. John Walsh is like, I don't care how you get him, let's get him. And in Dog's case, he's trying to plead with the parents, like, hey, where is he so we can bring him back alive? Now, granted, no one ever answers the door, obviously, right? Dog the Bounty Hunter, you know why he's at the door. You know he will find that guy if he's given the right trail. And TK20 says, I wonder if the lawyer's a longtime friend of the family, given he practices around where Gabby Brian grew up. He's done more around. That's interesting. I mean, they lawyered up so friggin' fast, right? They lawyered up so fast, it's ridiculous how fast they lawyered up. And so TK's right. Call the police, tell your story. And I'm guessing TK20, this is in reference to where someone was sharing that, you know, maybe he did it in self-defense. Exactly. Then call up the police, give your side of the story. We can go from there. But there's no way that there's a side to give for him except I'm guilty. This is what happened. That's the best scenario to get some answers to this whole thing. And so it's just going to be a matter of time before we actually even get any answers until they find this dude. That's the key there, is they have to find him in order to get more answers. No one knows where he's at. And so there has been another reward up. The rewards are up to $30,000 for any tips about Brian Laundrie's whereabouts. I mentioned about the one law office that put up $20,000, where more people are coming up. A neighbor of Petito's family is putting up $5,000 for any tips that lead to the arrest. I mean, that should help, right? That should help. We hope. And so rewards totaling $30,000 are now being offered for information that helps authorities track down Gabby Petito's missing boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. And even though when she passed, that was her boyfriend, it's hard to still refer. Boyfriend is generally not someone that would do, you know, I don't know. This is such a frustrating case, because really, how long does he plan on living out there? How long does he plan on living out there? I mean, my thought is the family is helping him survive. They either know where he's at, or they know where he was going. I mean, they know something. That's why they're not even saying anything anymore. And you know, when people want answers, they will grill you till they're blue in the face, and they don't even care what your answer is until it's the right answer. Let me show you the outside of the funeral home here. This is the outside of the funeral home, and you can see people lined up to get in. And once the actual funeral begins, we may not get an inside look. And I'll keep searching for video out there, but we may not get a close-up look on the inside. I hope we do, because I feel like we can pay our respects if we can actually see it. But we can pay our respects anyway by just, if you're a person of prayer, just saying a prayer for the family, you can pay your respects. And so we hope that we can keep that going. And please, my friends, if you comment on my Facebook stream or the YouTube stream and you do not want your comments to pop up on the screen, just let me know in the comments. I'll respect your feelings. I have no problem doing that. And so I am glad that they don't put have you guys take the extra step to show your comments on the screen. But if you don't want them on there, hey, just let me know and I'll be glad to share that with, The Real Cynthia says they need a grand jury to summon Brian's parents to testify. I agree. But they're most likely going to lie under oath. So, I mean, I would like to see a lie detector test, even though they're most likely going to fail that anyway. Lie detector tests do not hold up in court. Hey, there goes still another inside look. Lie detectors don't hold up in court, but we do know that a lie detector, hey, it can say whether you're lying. Now, sometimes the machine can say you're lying when you're not. But we know if the Dirty Laundries did a lie detector test and it said you're lying, we're going to know that's true because we believe they've been lying this whole time. We believe that they helped him get away. Hello, magazine. Thank you for joining us today. My friends, if you guys can, smash that like button, because when you do that, it's going to help reach more people. And from what I can tell, you can't even see this live, the funeral live on YouTube, and a lot of people don't spend time on YouTube. My wife wanted to watch it. She doesn't even spend time on Facebook. Right? So people are looking on YouTube to find this live, and I told her, I was like, I'll be live, you can watch it, while I'm live. This is an inside look of the funeral home. They're either prepping, so maybe it starts at 12 my time, Central Time. I don't know that it has actually started, because I would guess that somebody would be up there speaking if they did. And so this is a live look inside the funeral home. Here's your chance to watch it, right? And I'm not too sure when they will officially start. From the comment by WFLA, they were asked not to stream the actual funeral. And so this is the part that they're allowed to stream. And so we may end up they'll probably end up cutting it, but we'll follow along as long as we can. Generally, if you've been on my live stream, I'm trying to get a live stream in. Life is busy, and I'm always on the go. And so I'm glad that I can actually spend some time, hang out here with you guys, and we can get to the bottom of this and share more details. We can share more love. We can, bring community together and follow this story. This is one of the most sensational stories you'll ever come across, and that's why it's in the news all the time, right? Because this is a big, big deal. TK20, I have to agree with you there. Find something against the mom, arrest her, and I bet she might break. I don't know, Mama Bear. You guys know how Mama Bears are. Don't mess with the little cub. And so I don't know if she would. I don't know if she would break. I don't know, right? I also heard they will not be live streaming the inside. If that's true, I can completely respect the decision. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not saying anything against that by any means. I feel fortunate to be able to watch this part and to be able to witness some of this, because here's the truth. This story may stick with a lot of us for the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives, this may stick with us for the rest of our lives. It's one of the most sensational stories ever. The Real Cynthia shares, I wonder if Brian's parents brought cell phones on that mysterious camping trip. And here's my question. How is he surviving? How's he eating? Well, what we have heard from eyewitness testimony of people close to, let's get this. Let me give you guys this whole screen here. I cannot play the audio. The last time when I first started streaming this, I was more doing a test, and I streamed WFLA.com, their live stream, and I had it live on YouTube, and they literally, I got a copyright strike, and so I don't want a chance playing any audio from their stuff, because I'll probably get another copyright strike. Yep, that very well can be. A burner phone that can't be traced, that's always a possibility, right? That's always a possibility there. So they may be getting ready. And if they're staying on, we're staying on with them. But I will not bring in any audio, unfortunately. So forgive me on that. Rudolph survived to 5 years in Appalachian. Survived. Yeah. So according to according to Dog, a lot of his tips have been that he's been spotted in the Appalachian or along the Appalachian Trail, which can run many, many, many miles. So, well, you know, I no doubt in my mind, he is not at the Carlton Reserve. No doubt on my mind, he is not at the Carlton Reserve. TK20 asks, is there info on what the parents were doing from about August 28th to September 1st? Yeah, that's a great question. My guess is he called them up front and they got working on his escape. Is that when they got the new camper? Okay, that's a great speculation, TK20. That is a great speculation there. But my guess is that, and this is all only a guess, that when he got back, he did explain the story. And that's when they lawyered up and they said, we're not going to let you talk to anybody. That's the best thing. Now, the only statement that Brian gave was, I'm gonna stay in the background, something like that. I'm going to keep myself in the background, or I'm going to stay in the background, or something along those lines. That's the only statement he's made throughout this whole thing. Throughout this whole thing, that's the only statement he's made. The Real Cynthia says, I'm guessing the FBI has more info than they have released. Yes, I agree with that. I will definitely agree with that. They cannot give away the farm until they get this guy in. This is part of any investigation that's ever ongoing. This is part of any investigation that is ongoing. So it looks like they may be starting a funeral service, and maybe they're going to keep a camera in there, and we'll keep it going. And so I feel like if I play the audio, I'm going to get a copyright strike. And my goal is not to be in trouble with Facebook or YouTube. I don't want to be on their bad side where they're not going to be showing my videos to people, because my goal is to get the word out there. My goal is to bring justice for the victims and their family. And so that's not what I was going to share. That's what I was going to share. So the Real Cynthia says let me bring that one back up. They should track her Apple Watch. The Real Cynthia says they should track Gabby's Apple Watch too. And again, the FBI may have done that. The FBI may have done that. And I would like to think they did that sooner, when they were even missing and when they were looking. That's a good one. TK20, I have to agree. It is heartbreaking watching this. The Real Cynthia asks, where is the body? Now, from my understanding, she was cremated. That is my understanding, is she was cremated. And so there won't be a full body. Why was she cremated? You never know. You never know why they did that. Magazine shares, I still think there's a chance Brian never left the house, false wall, or in a vintage bomb shelter maybe. And that's all we can do at this time, right? That's all we can do at this time is speculate and really guess. You know, so that's all we really can do at this time, as we're trying to figure a lot of this information out. Because we don't know much at this time at all, really, right? Let me see if there's anything else out there. Let's keep that open. I am constantly trying to find updates. I mean, probably 20 plus times a day. I'm looking like, did they find him? Did they find him? Did they find him? And my thought process is, they're not going to find this dude. They're not going to find him anytime soon. He's supposed to be really good. He's supposed to be really good at all of this. at this living in the wilderness on cheese and crackers, cheese and peanut butter and crackers. He lived in the wilderness for like 6 weeks on just cheese, peanut butter, and crackers. I mean, I guess you can live on that, right? Hopefully not the salty ones. Well, in his case, I don't care, but if you were to live that way. And so here we are at the funeral, and friends and family remember Gabby Petito. And so this is a live look inside of this. That looks to be Gabby's father on the right of the screen, I believe. Let me see if I can find. Man, I want to find footage where we can actually watch that. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I'm. And you guys can go to Facebook. And you can click on live Gabby Petito. You'll find this right away, and you'll know exactly what you'll see for yourself what's going on, what they're talking about. I'm glad that they're even letting the camera inside so that we can experience this with them, because we feel like we know her, right? She's been in the news so much, we feel like we know her, and that's why I'm glad that they're letting us have this inside look of the funeral. Yeah, there's a few news going on out there. And it seems like this WFLA, they're doing great on their coverage of this. Fox 5 is covering the news, this live as well. Let's see what that's going to.
There's a version that's.
Let's see. I'm gonna play another.
Hearted people living in the world of grief. Never short of words, but I've been up for days, weeks now with this. The love and support from everybody, from all across the world, is absolutely amazing.
That is Gabby Petito's dad sharing. Is that his dad or stepdad? I think that's the dad, right? And he's sharing all the love that they're getting from people all across the world and the support